Hey, so the topic is flirtation-ship, and I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible because I am not really good at explaining things. I'm just gonna tell my story. Okay, so I was dating this guy, and he had a lot of best friends. And yeah, anyway, so I was dating this guy, and he ended up leaving me and cheating on me with another girl after he went off to school. So that's where it kind of ended. But he had a friend, like, he had a friend, and his friend, like, I mean, like, I used to see his friend all the time or whatever. His friend was hot, you know. His friend was sexy or whatever, but I never, like, put that in play because, I'm like, okay, I don't like you, I like your friend, I'm going out with your friend or whatever. But look why his friend was like sexy or whatever. And I always thought that his friend was a player. So I was like, hell no, I'm definitely not gonna, entertain you and anything. So anyway, yeah, like a couple years passed after the incident, where me and my ex broke up, and I started talking to his friend on Facebook, and his friend is off to school or whatever, and I was talking to him like asking how he was doing because he went away to school and there's nobody there with him, or so I thought. But yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Hey, how are you? I'll check in from him time to time because when you go out to school, like I understand what it feels like to be out of your element, to go get thrown into a place where, like, you're lonely and stuff like that. You don't have any friends and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll be like, hey, whatever. Started talking. We started talking from there, and it turned out that he was actually kind of cool because I had this perception that he was a player. So yeah, so we started talking from there, and we would talk, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and I let him know, like, well, I have a boyfriend, and stuff like that. It was never nothing like, oh, I like you off the bat. I think we told each other that we liked each other via Facebook after like a month of talking to each other, like calling him, and talking to him, and seeing how he was doing or whatever, and getting to know him or whatever. I guess we found each other cool, like, you know. So my perception changed of him, that he was a player or whatever. I never really like looked into the fact that he had a girlfriend. I don't think I paid attention to that or anything, and I should have. But yeah, so he had a girlfriend, and I didn't know she was going to his school at the time, or I wouldn't even talk to him, and I wouldn't have talked to him, period, aside from the girl. But I think later on, talking to him, I found out that he had a girlfriend or whatever, and like I was like, so what's up with your girlfriend? So after he was like, well, me and her are on the rocks right now. I'm like, well, I'm gonna stop talking to you because like I'm not gonna be a homewrecker because his friend left me, and apparently the girl who stole him per se from me is, I got mad at her and called her a home wrecker. So I'm not gonna be a home wrecker and be like, well, I'm gonna keep talking to you because your girlfriend and you on the rock. So I'm like, this is my time to dash in. So I'm like, I'm not that type of girl. But anyway, so yeah, so he's like, no, 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 it's cool, me and her no rocks, you know, and it's okay, or whatever. Keep talking to me. I'm like, yo, I'm not trying. I was like, the best advice I give you as a friend right now, I'm like, try and mend your relationship back together. I'm like, if you guys completely break up, then you guys completely break up, but nothing to do with me. Then you can come and talk to me after that. I was like, but try and mend it back together. So, I don't know. He was like, okay, cool. So, we stopped talking for about 3 weeks. Like, a couple weeks later, we started talking again. And he was like, well, I like you. I was like, okay. I was like, well, yeah, I like you too, but you have a girlfriend and stuff like that. So after that, he was like, I'm like, how are things? He's like, I don't think it's gonna work out and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, yeah. So we started talking. I'm like, okay. He's like, okay, I like him. So I'm like, yeah. So we started talking. So I'm like, honestly, I'm like, do you ever feel like we're gonna go beyond like you saying that you like me and stuff like that? It was like, I don't know about in the future. Maybe, yeah, because you never happen. But right now, I don't know. So I'm like, I'm wondering why you just push to talk to me and tell me that you like me and all this crap, you know? And then when I finally ask you about like actually getting together, you're telling me you don't know. But come to find out, I thought he was all alone in college. Come to find out, his girlfriend went to the same college as him. So he wasn't alone. Him and his girlfriend were going to the same college, and they're pretty still serious. So like, I never took it upon myself to say like, oh my goodness, let me go scan his page, his Facebook page, to go see if he's what you call it, if there's like girls or his girlfriend is sending himself on his page. Because I'm not a stalker. I'm just not that type, you know. So yeah. So like, something told me to go on his page or whatever, and I'm seeing like hearts and things and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. And he likes like the status that she sends to him, the post that she puts on his wall. I'm like, sounds like you guys are pretty intact with me. You're telling me one thing, and then after that, it's like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna stop talking to you, you know? And after he's like, no, why? I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Settle for? I'm like, I'm supposed to be just somebody you can talk to and flirt with or whatever and stuff like that. He's like, I know I can't be the guy that you need or the guy that you want, but could you could we still talk or whatever? He's like, I like you, you like me. Can it just be like that? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm a girl. I want my own things. I want my own relationship. I was like, no, it's not going to be like that. So after that, he was like, why? I'm like, just stop. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and flirt with you for the rest of the time once you have a girlfriend or whatever. And so after that, he's like, why? I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, it's not that he didn't like me or whatever. My situation in this flirtation-ship thing is that he had a girlfriend or whatever, and he just wasn't ready to give her up. It's like those guys who are married and they're never gonna leave their wives for the side hoe thing. I'm not marking myself as a side hoe or whatever because, I'm not. But it was just an example. Yeah, but that's my story. I'm not good at explaining things, so don't be like, what is she talking about? I tried. So yeah, and excuse me again. I look like crap. I'm taking out my hair. So yeah.